Today is May the 12th, 2026. The time is 4:03 p.m. Hope everybody had a great day or is having a great day and have a great day. This distraction method that this current government is using is truly getting out of hand. I mean, it's truly ridiculous. And I'm not just saying that these particular people that are in the government right now are the only ones that have ever done this, because like I say, I went back one time, and when Vietnam was going on, that's when apparently the first man set foot on the moon. And so here we go again with this so-called amazing feat, because these people apparently went the furthest that anybody has ever gone into outer space. But yet it's during a time of truly war, to be honest with you, when gas prices are doing what they're doing as far as going up, and we truly are on the verge of a major war. And so here we go with this alien release thing now that Donald J. Trump and the people around him decided was a good idea to do. This, is nothing but, once again, a blinder, a shield, or something to cover up and prevent us from focusing on what really matters. And I'm not saying if there is something that is not an everyday sighting, I'm not saying that we don't deserve to know that. But why now, after possibly 100 plus years of keeping it secret from the people? But then not only that, they release these grainy videos from 1980 and 70 and whatever else, and you can't even really see what that is. It's a UFO, meaning an unidentified flying object is all that is. It could be something that is spiritual or something that is out of the normal, but we can't tell what that is anyway. So I say all of that as well to say that Donald J. Trump was the same person that decided to want to attack former President Obama for saying something in reference to aliens in an interview, saying, well, he shouldn't have done that. He's not supposed to do that. That's classified information. But yet now you declassify it for one, to try and make yourself out to be the hero. You just got to be in front of the line. You see what I'm saying? You have some people that just refuse to be in the back of the line. And so not only that, he's the same one that is now trying to make a deal with Iran, in which we know the deal is not truly a deal. You get what I'm saying? What he's telling Iran is something that basically would more than likely probably have the United States controlling a major part of their economy in this so-called deal that Donald J. Trump keeps putting forward to the Iranians, in which the Iranians are not going to give up their quote-unquote hard-earned, however they got it, things over there. Just like the Indians didn't give up quietly when the Americans came over here. And I'm going to be honest with you, if it wasn't for the Americans bringing the black people with them, they probably would not have defeated the Indians. But that's a whole nother story. So I say all of that, though, and it's not, once again, a race thing at all, but I just say that because we've been filled up in our heads with a bunch of lies as far as why this is even going on and why, this is even a story to even speak about right now, because it's seemingly quiet because it's so far away and we ain't really having to deal with it. But at the same time, we have to understand that that's a group of people who are not going to give up quietly, who are not going to just bow down because they're being told to bow down. And so if this does continue to carry out longer, and you start having the resources of places like China affected because of the strait being closed, because that strait, a huge portion of China's oil comes through that strait from Iran. And so I do know for a fact that if any ships or tankers are getting through, they are letting the Chinese tankers get through, because that's a conflict that the United States and other countries don't want to see happen. But how long will this last? How long can this continue until it really does start to affect the Chinese economy as well? But yeah, like I said, this alien stuff, man, ain't nothing but a distraction. Because I saw the little videos that they showed, man, and I'm going to be honest with you, it looked like garbage. Until you can show us some of these alien people that you apparently have, and that they're breeding people here on the breeding with them and all this other stuff. Until you can show something like that and prove that that's reality, this little unidentified flying stuff, and don't get me wrong, I don't doubt that these people who continuously fly into outer space and flying up in the sky aren't seeing things. But we're not being shown those things, because what that is not enough. You see what I'm saying? It's not enough. But once again, he's only doing this because he's got to be that guy. You see what I'm saying? He cannot stand the fact that Obama and the people around him was able to accomplish what they accomplished. And so he's tearing it down only to build it back up the same way, but put his name on it. You see what I'm saying? Because according to a lot of the records, Obama, during his administrations, he had the most illegal immigrants put out of this country. He had the most of them put out of this country. And so what did Donald Trump run on? The border, right? And now they want to be the number one administration when it comes down to getting illegals out of the United States. But see, if we don't listen and if we don't go and get this information, then we won't know these things. We're going to think that this all new, when none of it's new. Yeah, he put his own little twist on stuff. Yeah, he went and going and remodeling the whole White House. Yeah, that's his own twist. You see what I'm saying? After the fact that they went up there and destroyed a lot of the White House as well. You see what I'm saying? Which cost the government, which cost the taxpayers a lot of money. And so he's truly only fixing what he messed up anyway. But people don't see it like that, and people aren't viewing it from that perspective. You see what I'm saying? And all this donor money and all that, that's going to soon come to an end as far as donor money. They already asking for money to fix this reflecting pond and pool or whatever it is that they have up there. They're not going to continue to use their quote-unquote donor money. That's going to be money that they going to claim that those was able to save the United States. Those was able to save the government all of this money. And so they're just going to use this money to go and remodel the White House, when at one point in time, this money was helping people afford their medication, in which it may be certain medications and stuff now where people can get it at an affordable rate. I don't know. But at the same time, if you've taken away vital money that helped people with different diseases. And we most definitely, if we're doing it over in Africa, I pray to God that they was doing it over here in the United States as well. You get what I'm saying? Before going out and giving billions of dollars or millions of dollars, whatever you were giving to other countries to try and help them. Help your country first. But at the same time, like I said, that money that they save, where is it going? We got a $500 check when Biden was in office. So he ain't did nothing new. We might have even got one when Obama was in office. So we know that the $500 or whatever have you ain't coming from them so-called saving money. So if you're not taking that money and putting it back into this country, because fixing that White House up, man, ain't got nothing to do with me. To be honest with you, I might not even ever go to the White House in my lifetime. I might not ever visit there. So that doesn't benefit me. It doesn't benefit more than likely 75 to 80% of the people in this country either. The little 20% that benefit, no, that's not enough. That's not enough. Because if you had a 20% of an army, that ain't enough. You want that 85%. So man, it's terrible what they doing to this country. But like I said, they gonna flip it upside down. You know, you got this Hunter disease garbage now that done came up, and so and with this war thing, he knows it's gonna get out of control, and so they're gonna instate that act. And when they instate that war act or whatever it's called, once the elections come around, there's not going to be any elections, y'all. Because that's when it's going to really be going down. It's probably going to be to the point a year and a half from now to where there is a true nuclear threat against the United States. And because they have that I don't want to call it, because they're that criminal to stage something like that. You hear what I'm saying, y'all? They're that criminal. But it's gonna be a threat against the United States. They're gonna instate that act. There will not be any elections. And so, with that being said, Donald Trump will remain in the office until they can figure that out. I don't know how it works from there on out. You see what I'm saying? But this is where we are. This is where we are. And I said it on my last little record, man. I want to try to be behind this guy, but I just can't be behind him unless he changes the way he talks about people. Stop trying to be that guy. You understand what I'm saying? Stop. You get it? Just because Barry Bonds broke Hank Aaron's record don't mean that Barry Bonds is better than Hank Aaron. And just because Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record don't mean that Hank Aaron was better than Babe Ruth. Those men all got their place in history. Why do you want to go and try to erase something that another president did to help this country? It's crazy, y'all. But this guy and what the name is, Netanyahu. Trump let Netanyahu convince him to go to war with Iran, y'all. And not saying that he didn't want to do it, because Donald Trump wanted to do it the whole time. He was the same person that was saying, well, Obama, because he loves Obama, that Obama was going to be the one that was going to go to war with Iran. That was the words of Donald Trump's mouth. And look, he's doing it. You see what I'm saying? So we got to be careful, y'all. We got to be careful about how we talk about people and who we talk about. And at the same time, they all could be working together too, because they all have sat in the same room together. You get what I'm saying? They all pretty much work for the same government. So if Donald Trump is able to get in there for a third term, and if he don't die old age or something, get in there for a fourth term, then what her name, Hillary and all the rest of them probably clapping their hands in the background. As soon as it come down to Democrat, Republican, though, they sitting there arguing. One of them got on a red something and the other one wearing blue. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. But they do all this to try to keep us fooled, man. And like I said, don't get me wrong. It could be a higher power, extra, because if you think about it, if something's coming from outer space bringing you technology or just bringing you technology, that's a higher power. It may not be God, but it's a higher power. So there may be higher powers out there. Are they truly aliens? It depends on what's your description of an alien. An alien is something that's not natural to this earth. So they consider them aliens. And so, that's what it is. But in the long run, y'all, it's all a scheme to try to keep us confused and keep us thinking about stuff that really don't matter. Because if God said that angels, which were sons of God, came down to the earth and slept with the women, then there you go. That's your answer right there. That's our answer right there. That anything that comes to this earth is from heaven, from God, and it could be good for you. It could be bad for us. You see what I'm saying? So that's how we got to view it and keep pushing until they, and don't get me wrong, like I said, if they release something interesting, I would like to see it. But the stuff that they released was not interesting whatsoever. So, like I said, they're just doing this to try and keep the crown, so to speak. He don't want Obama to be the man, period. And also, it's a distraction tactic. You know what I mean? Just like when Epstein was going down, that's when they decided to bomb Iran. You see what I'm saying? Because the Epstein case and the Epstein files are so detrimental, not only to this country, but to other nations, that they went and bombed Iran, you hear me, to try and keep our attention pulled away from Epstein. That's how bad Epstein's is. And so to try and, once again, curb our attention from the war, they come out with this alien nonsense. But y'all stay strong out there. I know it ain't easy. And like I said, it is, for many of us, it is hardly ever been easy. It's always been hard for the most part. But we have to understand that there truly is a God. You know what I mean? We are people. And when it comes down to intelligence, we are the most intelligent things, living beings, things on this earth. And if you believe that we came from a gorilla and a chimpanzee and a orangutan, then that just go to show you need to get a little bit more education yourself. You're not as smart as you think you are. You see what I'm saying? You shouldn't be in anybody's encyclopedia with that kind of nonsense. And that Big Bang Theory, I'm going to tell you something, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all something I mean. That Big Bang Theory wasn't that far-fetched. But it wasn't a Big Bang that occurred in order to create the cosmos and the Milky Way and all of this stuff. No. The true Big Bang happened right here on Earth. And it came in the form of what people call a meteor, in which that Big Bang was so big that it caused this Earth's climate, because the sun was blocked out, to go into ice age. But that's the only Big Bang that's ever occurred for the most part. Now, you may have some collisions or planets or something out there. I don't know what, which is a Big Bang. But yeah, so, and people say, well, it was a meteor. That was God's wrath on the earth. God got upset that day. You hear me? And that was, all we got is word of mouth. We can't Go all the way back there. You know what I mean? Unless you close your eyes and what I'm telling you takes you there. But see, it was a long time ago. I'm going to tell you the story of how the dinosaurs were wiped out. It was a long time ago, of course. Dinosaurs roamed the earth. And believe it or not, there was a man that walked the earth as well. And this man had a family. He had a wife and he had children. And so one day after coming back from foraging, because see, this man, he wasn't like the men of the day. This man could run as fast as any other creation that God had created at the time. He was super fast, you hear me? So he could run all the way across the land to a luscious land of fruit, and he would get it and he would bring it back to the family and they would eat and be merry. He even built this house inside this big old tree and had big stones because he was strong enough to move those stones. But long story short, he came back because he would tell his wife, you know how women can be even today. All of us can be this way. But he told his woman, because she would like to open up, put a window right there for them to. But he told, don't ever open the window when I ain't there. So he got back and he saw that window was open and he knew. And the brick, and he went in and the family, and they was gone. Wasn't nothing there. Dinosaur come in there and ate them up. Knocked the whole wall down, because once you remove a stone sometimes, the whole wall becomes fragile. And so the man got mad. He got very, very upset. I mean, his family was gone. That's all he had. So he went running. He knew he could find. He knew which dinosaur to find. And he found him. And he ran up on that dinosaur like he was going to take him out. And that dinosaur reached down and gobbled him up too. And it wasn't funny. But that dinosaur was like, another free meal. And he ate the man. But see, when the dinosaur ate the man, he just grabbed him, and so he didn't bite him to where the man instantly died. So the man was alive in the dinosaur. And so the man he went into the dinosaur's stomach. And God called out to his man. He said, man, where you at? He said, God, this dinosaur, this dragon, he done ate me. Oh, man. When God heard that, God got so mad that he reached back and you rarely hear about God balling his fist up. But God hit that earth so hard, boom! And that's what caused all life to cease. And I'm going to tell you, all it took for man to be reawakened, that spirit of man to be reawakened after such a powerful, was just something as simple as a blade of grass growing out the ground. Because even a blade of grass needs that oxygen, you hear me? But that's what really happened back then. It wasn't no meteor hitting the earth. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if it was a meteor that size would have probably hit the earth again by now, because that's been so many years ago. You hear what I'm saying? This was before Jesus. This was before Moses. This was before all of them. This was before God decided to even start to write the Bible. But because that loss of life, that loss of man, God said he would not ever let it happen that way again. Even though we got dogs and lions and stuff in other countries, but we ain't got dinosaurs look like dragons roaming the earth no more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least you can shoot a lion. It'd be hard to shoot one of them dragons walking the earth unless you got a tank. You know what I mean? But that's how it happened, y'all. And you heard it from here. You heard it from somebody that saw that. But I say all these things to just say that God is amazing. I had made it and I'm gonna post it, but the natural man, because I was talking about how we are capable of doing amazing things, but the problem with us is that and I get it, but we want to be able to do these amazing things all the time. And what has gotten us to that point of even thinking that way is because we've looked at Superman, because we watch Spider-Man and all of these superheroes. We think that we can just activate that power, that energy when we want to. It ain't our time. It's on God's time. It's on that time when we really need to activate that energy. You see what I'm saying? But this technology, you even see it. I was watching a little hero show movie the other night. And his whole suit was made out of, he wasn't shooting the spider webs out of arms like he used to. It was a whole suit. You get what I'm saying? But that's what we expect, y'all. We expect this technology to be our superpower. We expect technology to be our savior, our hero. And we're afraid to believe that a simple man, he ain't got much to make you want to even, his looks ain't what make you want to follow him. You see what I'm saying? The simple man. But y'all, I just had to jump on here and speak to y'all once more, because I enjoy doing it. I just want y'all to have a great rest of your week. And like I said, I get it, y'all. I sit here and speak this stuff, man, but I get it. I grew up in that. So I just want y'all to keep praying. Know that God will be there through all of the violence and the hate that you could be growing up in. Don't cease praying. And I ain't gonna sit here and tell you how to pray, but don't cease praying, because when I was little, we was taught to say, now I lay me down to sleep. But after that, you say your little part of, God, please watch over my brother. Please watch over my friend, my mama, my family. You see what I'm saying? Don't cease it. But y'all take it easy out there on the strength, and things gonna get worse. But there is some good out there, I'll talk to you soon.